Welcome back. I'm Kenny, and today we're going to be talking about some more anime I've watched in the past. This is going to be an ongoing series. We're just going to talk about some of the anime I've watched. Let me reminisce on things I've watched, the good, the bad, and the awful. So let's get into it. Let's start with the first one. One of my favorites is Black Lagoon. I love it. It's a very dark and gritty kind of anime, and I love how like the one of the main characters, Rock, kind of struggles. He's a good natured, good person. He's kind of like in this mercenary world, and he's just like struggling to keep his ideals while being surrounded by these mercenaries working with them day by day. And he kind of like gets in conflicts with them sometimes, especially I believe it's Revi. I believe is her name. Gets in conflicts with her a lot. They're good most of the times, but there's a couple of times where they get into a fight where it's like a big part of the story where they're conflicting ideals and how they work and how they are, because they grew up differently. Like Rock, he was a businessman. He grew up a good life. Didn't understand the struggles of the world. And Revi, I can't remember her name, didn't. So they kind of butt heads sometimes when it comes to things. And it's just I enjoy it. I've watched it countless times. It might not be top 10 material, but it's definitely near that list. I enjoy it very much, and it's something I would recommend to a lot of people. It has a sequel series or a mini series, if I remember correctly, where it was like more of like seeing like Rock go dark, seeing him actually turn and do some messed up stuff, and kind of how that unfolds. But I enjoy the anime. I'd watch it anytime. I have not watched it in a few years. It's actually been a while since I have last watched it, but I enjoy it. It's a very dark and gritty. Not usually what I normally watch. So give it a watch, give it a try. If you don't like it, understandable. It's not for everybody. But next up, we have World Trigger. So I actually read the manga for this before I watched the anime. I read the manga for a good long while, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting how you had people using what are they called again? Triggers, the like weapons or triggers to fight the neighbors or these like creatures or beings from a gates, and I really enjoyed it. I have not finished watching it. I kind of started it and then never got back to it, and kind of stopped reading the manga after a while. I got distracted with other things. This was when I was in high school, so I had other things going on at the time, so I wasn't really like sticking to a lot of like. There's very few anime and manga I read like every week. So, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I will eventually go back and finish watching it. I'm fairly certain by now it should be like over, but I don't know. I haven't kept track. But I enjoyed what I watched. I like. Well, I don't remember his name. The kid with the black trigger. I liked him. He was very interesting, very tactical, very the things he did. But it's a very. I haven't watched it very long, so I don't really have much to say on it. And it didn't really. It is good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't leave like a big impact that I'd say, yeah, go watch this immediately. But I enjoyed it. It's a typical. You have your young male protagonist trying to rise to the ranks and succeed, getting grow more powerful. Your typical stuff, but it's pretty good. Next up is one that I watched within the last year or a year ago. I don't remember. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but my one of my coworkers recommended it to me, and I loved it. It was great. Seven Deadly Sins. I've watched all three parts. I think there's three parts of it that were on Netflix. I've not watched any of the movies. I will eventually get to the movies. but I enjoyed all of the episodes of it. I love, I think it's Meliodas, yes, Meliodas. Loved him. He's very, yes, he has his quirks, but when it gets down to those fights, I love the fight scenes. I love epic fight scenes in anime. Uh, like I gotta get that from Dragon Ball epic fights. I love them. So uh, loved this. It was great. I love all the characters. Bang is probably my favorite character. He's always wanted to pick the fight with Meliodas, and how they for most of the time like going at it. And I like how he's like slowly trying to gather all the Devil's sins and then get them back together. So I enjoy the anime. I really liked it. I believe there's more coming. I believe. Well, they kind of left it where there's supposed to be more. So I don't know when that's gonna be. There's not more at this time of filming, but I enjoyed it. It was really good. I definitely watch it again and recommend it to anybody. It was a really, really, really good anime. That I'm glad my friend recommended it to me because I don't think I probably would have found it eventually, like from hearing about it from other people or seeing it on social media. But it was good to get a recommendation from a friend going, yeah, you should watch this. This is great. So, yep, that'd be Seven Deadly Sins. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I will eventually go back and watch the movies. I know there's one for sure. I don't remember, but I will go back and watch that because that's probably just as good as the series. So, but next up, so we have Hunter x Hunter. So I have not finished watching Hunter x Hunter. I think I got up to the Chimera Ant arc and then kind of dropped off. Got distracted by other things. Like it was like I was watching the time I was in high school, so I had other things, friends, school, other things going on. So I have not yet finished watching it, but I enjoyed what I watched. I loved the characters. I love Gon. I love Killua. They're probably my easy. They're a great duo. Um, I love the. I really enjoyed the first arc where it's the Hunter exam arc. Quirky and weird at times, but the rest of the series, like how that goes on, I love it so much. It's like how they use Nen and when they go into the game system and the cards. I love all of it. That was great. I will eventually go back and finish watching it, but I just there's just so much anime, so much manga on the list, so much stuff to do that I haven't gone back to it yet. It's just those excuses we all have of like I'll get to it eventually, I'll get to it eventually, or I'll put on the list, I'll put on the list. And I just haven't gone to it yet. I have the time, I just haven't gone back to watch it. So really good series. I've not read the manga. I've just seen bits of the anime. I've skipped around a lot. And I think I've because I read online about certain things like, oh, I want to watch that or I want to watch this, and then I think I've watched like videos of certain of things I haven't seen before of like some feature parts of the series where stuff happens, and I just have seen that stuff. So I'm spoiled with some things, but like for the most part, I just know what like everything that goes up to the Chimera Anarch. But I love it. It's great. I definitely recommend it to anybody. It's something it's wholesome. It's great. It has some good fights. It's quirky at times, but it's definitely something to give a try. If you don't like it, that's okay. This is just my wacky opinions. So, but next up, oh here it is. So Maid Sama. I found this while scrolling around. I watched the series. I liked the characters. I liked the dynamic between the main duo. It's been so long I can't remember their names at all, but I like the dynamic between the two and how everything goes. It's one of those like I don't know how to describe it, but you'll know it if you read the description of it. You're like, oh, it's one of those. But I enjoyed it. Really, I really did. I haven't watched it in a very long time, but it was good. I enjoyed the characters. I loved the dynamic between the main two. They had a great dynamic. The way they paired off each other and did things. It was great. It's probably not for everybody. It's probably if somebody walked in and you watched it, it's like, really, they think you're the stereotypical weird anime person going, well, what are you watching? Isn't that yeah? But I liked it. Give it a try. If it's not your thing, after reading the description, then yeah, don't watch it. But it was interesting, and I really liked the main two characters. That's really what gets me for anime are fight scenes and characters. So I especially love dynamics between characters. If a good dynamic, the way they pair off each other and like they go at it. So I sometimes, and the way they work together is what I really like. Especially when you have a small cast of characters, and if it revolves around just these two characters, I really enjoy that. I might, now that I'm doing this video, I might watch it again because it's been so long since I've last watched it. It's been quite a few years, like 8 years, maybe 8 years. Yeah, it's been a while, but give it a try. If it's your thing, go ahead. If not, I understand. But next up, we have one that people love and hate. So that's Sword Art Online. I love it. I love all forms of Sword Art Online. The new version, the elf one, the Gun Gale. I liked all of them. I thought they're great. I know a lot of people have opinions on the main character Kirito. They think he's like a horrible main character. He's just nothing. Like he's like not a main character. Like he has nothing driving him. Nothing that makes him interesting or cool. But I like him. I like the story. I love the idea of this nerve gear, this system you wear to go into the game, and then you're stuck in the game. I watched another anime that's similar to it called Log Horizon. That's like this, but I enjoyed it. I've watched Sword Art Online. I watched the Elf one. I watched the Gun Gale one, and I watched like the first few episodes of the newest version of it. It starts with an A. I don't recall what and analyzation something. I don't remember. I've watched the first few episodes of that. When it finishes, I'll probably like binge watch all of it eventually. It's another thing that's on the list of stuff to watch. But I enjoy it. It's not perfect. Like Kirito's like horrible at times. He's not a great character, but I like the fight scenes. I think it's really cool. I was really drawn in by the game aspect, especially like the technology they use, like the inner gear. That really was like that concept really got me. I was like, that's super cool. I want to see how it works, or how they talk about it, or like being stuck in a video game. How is it like when you're like there's real death? There it is. It's for real. You're living this world. I thought that was really interesting, and I loved watching it. Next up, we have Blue Exorcist. Have not watched this in a very long time. A lot of these I haven't watched in a very long time. I watched. I don't watch as much anime as I like to, but back in high school I watched a lot of it. I consumed a lot of anime and manga. Watched a whole lot of it. Watched like just especially those summers when without out of school. Just binge watched a whole bunch of stuff and found a whole variety of things. And this will be one of them. I thought it was interesting how the main character Rin is just despite being the son of Satan wants to be an exorcist like his adoptive father, and it's really trying to like prove that, like, and then but at the same time trying to hide who he is because he's afraid what people think of him. And I'm not too fond of the ending. I didn't like how they had how they had that fight scene. I just didn't like that very much. I thought it was kind of, yeah, it wasn't good. Like another one, like Soul Eater. Not fond of that ending either. That was kind of lackluster for everything it built up to. Kind of like this one. This one was kind of built up to a lackluster ending. But I've seen videos, I've seen content of like stuff I haven't seen before, so there might be. I don't know if there's like new content for Blue Exorcist, or if they rebooted it, or I don't. Maybe I'm wrong entirely, but I've just seen videos and content of stuff that I don't remember seeing. So I'll have to go look into that and see if there's more. If there's more of the story that I've just missed out on, but it's an okay series. I liked it. I really liked the characters. I liked the fight scenes. I thought those were cool, especially when like Rin goes out of control and kind of just like goes on a rampage. I really liked that part. Um, eh, if if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. I can't force you to to watch these anime, but I liked it. Um, it's probably not one I'd want to like I'd be like, oh, yeah, I want to watch this again immediately. It's more of, I watched it, it was good. If it was on again, maybe I'd watch it again. Like if somebody else was watching it, I'd bust it down and watch it with them. Like I didn't hate it. It's just not something I'm passionate to go watch again. Like how I am with some of my favorite anime or some of my favorite manga that I want to read again or watch again. So, but it's okay. I enjoyed it. Here's one. Oh, I love so much. One Punch Man. I love how it started off as a gag gag manga. It's great. This is like one of the best anime I've watched ever. I love Saitama. Genos is just great. How he is trying so hard, so hard to be as good as Saitama is. Like goes out every fight, ends up a scrap heap at the end of every fight, gets upgrades, and does this process over and over and over again. And then you have Saitama, who's does it in one major punch. But at the end of the day, all he really cares about are deals. Like if the supermarket has great deals, he's gonna be at the supermarket getting those deals. Like that's what like drives him. Like he just saves people and does his hero stuff for the side. Like honestly, he cares more about the supermarket deals. That's where Saitama's at. He's like, oh, there's a deal on fish. Well, I gotta go to the supermarket on Sunday for this deal. I love it. It's great. Characters are all interesting and cool. How they all have their different powers and how they're all like all these different like classes of heroes. It's a really great anime that I would definitely recommend to people. It's funny, it's quirky, but it has some great fight scenes. Like if I was telling somebody like to get into anime, I'd say One Punch Man. It would be one of the things I'd recommend to you. It wouldn't be one of the only ones, but it'd be on that list. Like if I give you a top 10 list, I'd probably put One Punch Man on that top 10 list of, yeah, if you want to get into anime, here's something to watch. It's great. I love it. Makes me laugh. I love the fight. The fight scenes are great, but at the end of the day, some of the stuff that happens it's just funny and just interesting. I love it. And next up, another one of those ones that make me feel guilty. That's Vampire Night. It's about vampires. I love vampires. I love anything about vampires. And this is one that I like was scrolling through, found it, and just sat and binge watched it during the summer sometime. And I won't say it's one of my favorites, but I enjoyed it. I probably won't ever watch it again. Like it was okay. I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. If I hated it, I probably would have stopped watching, never watched it again. But it was okay. I enjoyed it. It was interesting for what it was. It captivated my attention for a time being, and I enjoyed it at that time. But probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again. It's just not it wasn't that impactful in my life to go, I want to watch this again. But it was really good. Because I like vampires. So if you give me an anime or something about or some content about vampires, I'm probably gonna watch it because I like vampires. But yeah, if you want to read the description on it, see if it's your thing. If it's not, yeah, it might not be. It's not like I wouldn't say it like it's a mainstream something that everybody's probably heard of. But next up, one of my favorites. I thoroughly love psychopaths. So I love the concept of psychopaths. Just how the whole society is revolved around the Sybil system. Your hue, your psychopaths. How if it differs off this designated zone, you're labeled a criminal or you're authority or you'll get in trouble. And how your like stress can alter your psychopaths. Like too much stress will alter it too much, and you'll start getting that territory of you become a latent criminal, and or just how some people their hue is just right off the bat this latent criminal one, and they're sent to detention centers or they're shipped off to prisons. But it was just reading the description on this before I watched it, and I was so interested by it. I had to watch it. It was just how like this whole society is just so dependent on this civil system, on this psychopaths. Like police officers, like their guns, physically can't shoot an innocent person or somebody who has a normal psychopath. But if it goes outside that normal zone and the higher it gets, then their weapon starts to be able to have other features like getting to stun them or actually do lethal damage. So how it's so dependent on how the way the society works, and then you have the characters and the main villain and how it just disrupts things, and it's like how the society seems perfect the way it is. For some people, they see it as unfair. How maybe they were just born and had a high psychopath, and suddenly they were labeled a latent criminal. But it was so interesting to me. I was just hooked on it, and then when I watched it, I loved it. It was great. I didn't watch the sequel. I wasn't the I had some problems with the sequel, but I really loved the original Psychopaths. It was just the concept of it was just something that intrigued me so much that I had to. I was like, who would have thought of this? Like, and it's like it was just so intriguing, and like when I watched it, and just seeing it evolve, and the way it works, and how the society functions, and you have the officers how they work, how latent criminals work, and it's just how this society is just like they even have like centers for getting your psychopaths back to normal levels. The way this whole society revolves around the psychopaths is just it was phenomenal. It was just I I don't know. I just don't know best how to describe how much it was intriguing to me that when I read it, that it was like I have to watch this. I have to learn more about this concept, more about this anime, and it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one I've watched over and over again. Probably I'm gonna watch again again pretty soon. Now that I'm talking about it, and it's just I really enjoyed it. It's one that I would recommend to other people. Um, it wouldn't be like one that's like, hey, you've never watched anime before. Here, watch this. It wouldn't be on that list. it'd be more if you're already into anime and manga, you go, hey, since you already watch and consume this content, here, how you might like this. I really enjoy it. Tell me what you think about it, and maybe we can discuss it. Because I see this as something we can watch and then discuss it, like talk about like what is in our society, or how this society works. This is like something I don't want to talk about with people. I don't want to pick their I don't want to pick their brain about this anime. That's how interesting, and how it just took my whole attention. I had to watch it. I had to find out more information about it, and it's just great. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I'd recommend it to just about anybody. Well, yeah, maybe not just about anybody, but you know what I mean. But so that was 10 anime that I've watched in recent years. Some of them I've loved so much, some of them they're just okay. If you have time, go through, read about them, see if you want to watch them or not. This isn't like go watch all these. Like, no, this is more of like me reminiscing on things I've watched in the past, and just kind of talking about how I felt about them after years later, and how I feel about them. That's really the point. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. See you guys.